Hey Mindset community, Dr. Ellen here coming to you today with your next Tire Talk. Before we get going on the content today, I want to discuss a little bit about how you're using your body in this very moment. So do a little self-scan for me. Check your posture to begin. How are you aligned? How are you utilizing and loading your systems right now? Are they stressed and tense, tightened, angry, or are they relaxed and open and interested in what you're trying to accomplish for the day? After you've scanned that, then I want you to take a little bit of an awareness to your breathing. Are you breathing with your neck and these clavicular muscles? If you can see those muscles every time you breathe, that's a problem. These are not effective muscles to expand the lungs. The lungs are not up here. All right, so we should not be using those. You should be starting to really focus on that diaphragm, which sits right here in the lower part of the chest. And as you breathe in, you should feel your stomach gently expand as it fills with air. You shouldn't have it pooching or pushing out, but it should gently fill with air as the diaphragm lowers, okay? And as you exhale, that diaphragm will raise up, and therefore the air will then come out. So just doing those couple bits of scan for posture and breathing are a wonderful way to center yourself, not only mentally, but physically, to get into the next topic we're gonna discuss. And this is about body organization. So you guys can see my full frame here, all right? So if I stand normally, my shoulders should be over my hips, should be over my feet. My feet should be pointing in the direction in which I'm facing. This is not a good way to stand. Okay, that's like driving with your front wheels turned out. That's not an efficient way, and something will fail over time. Okay, so we want feet straight, hips straight. My feet are gently screwed into the ground to create a little bit of stability and torque. I don't have a great deal of demand right now. I'm not going to squat about 350 pounds or anything, so I don't need to be locked in tight, but I'm just slightly active, just aware, and my body is turned on for the moment. Okay, my shoulders are back, and typically when I'm talking to someone, you'll see I'll rest my hands around my diaphragm as a really good cue for me to not only work on my posture, but also my breathing. Okay, so now that we have our starting position, we can look at a little bit about how this body is organized. So if we were to draw a box here, this center area, which a lot of people call the core, I want you to think about it as a chassis, like the chassis in a car. All right, so this is kind of the framework and the foundation that everything is built off of. So this is very important to prioritize when we get into movement. Right now we're just talking about posture and organization. So chassis is here in the center. Then we have primary, secondary, and tertiary engines. Our primary engine should be our shoulders and our hips, those being the most powerful. Then secondary, we have our elbows and our knees. And tertiary engines would be our wrists and hands as well as our ankles and feet, okay? So anytime we add movement into the scenario, we want to be aware of which engines we're using, because whichever engine you move first is going to be the one you load the most. So hear me that again. The joint that you move first, or the engine you move first, will be the one you load the most to accomplish whatever that task is. So, squatting, for example, if I do this, the first joint I have moved is my knees. That's a problem. We are using a secondary engine to do a primary engine job. Okay? Who has more meat? My primary engine or my secondary engine? Right? So just some things to think about. That primary engine is meant for power, stability, and load. Okay, so as you're moving throughout the day, this coming week, or even this coming day, or even this coming hour, start to be aware of how you are actually moving. Are you utilizing primary engines, or are you using secondary engines? Or for the last part, are you only using tertiary engines? Well, then that's a problem. All right, so a summary of today, be aware of that posture and how you're using yourself in static positions. Be aware of that breathing, and then as you start to initiate movement, whether it's getting out of a chair, picking up a grocery bag, tossing your grandkid in the air, whatever it is, be aware of which engine you're using first. All right? We love you more than you know. Have a great week.